Hello, everyone, and welcome to kind of like a special video for the Coalition. I am the entertainment editor over at thecoalition.com, Dana Abercrombie, and I'm here with just a really simple Black Widow spoiler free review. We'll keep it nice and light. Not going to get into the huge spoilers, any big details like that, but I just want to simply give you my thoughts on what I think the movie is about. Well, not is about, but my thoughts on how I felt about the movie. So we know that this is an opportunity for fans to really get that send off to Natasha Romanoff, played by Scarlett Johansson. And this is something that will really, this goal is to really show her importance in both the Avengers, what she has been through in life, including her family dynamics, and kind of who she is at the character today. Both what we know in the present, what we know in the past, and kind of give us that backstory of how she became who she is. So I can say right away that this is an enjoyable movie. I sat there, I watched it. I had it home. I watched it in the theater. I had fun. This is a movie that I would suggest people go out and see in the theaters. Not so much because of it's a big cinematic event, say like Infinity War or Endgame, but this is something where the cinematography really shines, the acting really shines, the fighting, the choreography is just really meant for something that's on the big theater. It is in the big theater. Watch it if you can. Now we already know that Natasha is she's Black Widow, but before she became Black Widow, she was assassin that was given to the KBG at birth. And they end up grooming her into the ultimate operative, which is, she's running around assassinating people. She knows how to find you. And from the comics, we know that she is a character that is not to be messed with. But she does have this very dark story. So during this time, it takes place between Civil War. So remember when everyone is kind of fleeing and going their own ways? It takes place before Civil War and right kind of before Infinity War. There is no snappage. We're not going to see that. And what I do appreciate is that this is a Natasha movie. This is a movie that is about Natasha. It has her family in it, but it's starring Natasha. You're not going to, without any spoilers, though I know people are expecting for like Tony to show up and all of these different people that were never advertised to show up to begin with. So there's no reason for them to show up. This is a Natasha story. And this is a story where I sat through an interview with Kevin Feige, and he kind of told me that the goal for this movie was for her to be at peace with the actions that she did in Endgame, which was it Endgame? No, it wasn't Endgame. Sorry, Infinity War, where she sacrificed herself on Romare, and that was kind of to show that what she has been through at life, the people that she's known, her family in particular, she's at peace with. So she can make that ultimate sacrifice by doing that because she knows that everyone is okay. So, like I said, this is a movie that's smushed kind of in between the events of Civil War and Infinity War, where she's on the run and she ends up, without spoiling anything, she ends up meeting again with her family. And the goal is to take down the Red Room, which we know works as kind of part of the KBG. Forgive me if I'm explaining this wrong, but part of the KBG that, they groom these children. These children are stolen. They groom these children who are stolen to become assassins to work for them. All they know is them. And you could say there's kind of a mind control element that's going on. And this is an opportunity for her to shut that door on her path, on her past, and to also give women and young girls an opportunity to have a life. So that I can say. Overall, like I said, this was really fun. Everyone in the movie, the family unit is what I mean, really shines. Rachel Weisz is the mother. She's hilarious. She comes natural with this comedy. We have Florence Pugh, which I'm sorry if I butchered that last name, but she's just really fun with it. They have really great sisterly moments where there's a lot of bantering. There's a lot of I'm gonna kill you, and they're trying to kill each other, and then they come together at the end and try to kill a bad guy. And you really get that sense of family, even though we already know no one is biologically related to each other because of how they're made to be a family. This also is a movie that I feel David Harbour, I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, but him as the Red Guardian is the most funniest, entertaining, just naturally comedic being in the MCU. He is hilarious. The little quick things that he says, the little banters that he has. There are just these moments that is like this family is a hot mess. All of them individually, and they kind of joke upon that because there's a lot of dark elements that they deal with, especially with what the Red Room does to women and families in whole, and just that life of being an assassin. So there are those elements that are really dark, they're really gritty, but they really do a great job at balancing the humor, kind of using laughter to cover up your pain. So that is something that I really do appreciate that they do, and they do it so well. And as a family unit, if they can have like some little spin-off thing, I would watch it. But definitely Red Guardian. We need her stuff. And no spoilers or anything, but there is a huge there's a hilarious moment where it's not any cameo, but he keeps going on about a particular member in the Avengers, and you really want to wish that you can see them kind of team up because it's just that funny. But this is not a movie that is perfect. The MCU, it seems they have a problem with their villains. Now we know Thanos. Thanos is a very well fleshed out villain. We know exactly his motives. We know what he was after. We know that he is unwilling to bend his rules. We know that he is unstoppable until he is unstoppable, but that it'll take an army to stop him. We know that. But when it comes to the villains, because there are multiple in this movie, it kind of reminds me of the older MCU movies where they was trying to find their footing when it came to villains, and even there argument that can be made that the current villains are not really good as well. But the thing is, they don't seem fleshed out. Ray Winston, head of this whole KBG Red Room situation, he kind of feels like a stereotype of a villain. All he needs is his fancy cigar and in the dark room and the smoke billowing, and he's like, world domination. Yeah, for world domination. He doesn't speak like that, but you get the point. And he doesn't seem to have anything else aside from world domination. There doesn't seem to be a driving. We don't know what's driving him. We don't know what it is that he truly wants outside of just world domination. It's like, yeah, you get world domination, and then what? So that is kind of missing. I feel that they just wrote him to just be like bad guy. He easily could have been swapped out with bad guy number 3. They don't give him that much of a character. Taskmaster, Taskmaster. That we've known, we've seen. They introduced this character, and it's so incredibly badass. I mean, I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of like Civil War. You got the mask, everything is going on. This is serious. The fighting is deadly. Even Red Guardian is like, whoa. There are those moments where the fight choreography is like, wow. Like you could just watch them all day, just fight each other, and it's just really that good. The problem is, Taskmaster exists, and that's just it. It's just like it's a killing machine. That's it, And I would kind of, at first, I would have compared him to Bucky. Bucky was just like time to kill, and you killed. But there was such a fleshed out backstory and a connection to Bucky that we know of through Steve Rogers. With this one, they try to make a connection and how it connects to another villain, but I don't care. And that was really the main problem with the villains, is just I didn't care. I was more kind of interested in what was going on with the family. What's going on with the pig? What are they like? Can we spend some more time with them? Um, so the mission itself was good. The villains is not so good. And the big question is, does this really pay tribute? Does this really honor Black Widow? Because she really didn't have an opportunity to shine in the other 22, 18, 95 MCU movies. She didn't really have the opportunity to show people, look, this is who I am. This is my personality. This is my weirdness. This is my greatness. We really didn't get to see that. And while we get to see that in the movie, we see pieces of it. We see, moments of it. And she does shine with the material that's given to her. She shines. She's an amazing Scarlett Johansson. She really took this role and really just, she is this character, and it's very believable. She's been this character for like what, a decade by now, over a decade, and she's really superb in that, and she's in her element, and I love that so much about her. But overall, the character itself, just not the character, but the movie could have been a lot better. So I really think that people will enjoy this. I really believe that overall, this is not a film that, when you look at the MCU and how it feeds into the MCU as a whole, it's okay. There is an after credit that ties this movie into another series. Kevin Feige did say that movies will bleed into TV shows and TV shows will bleed into movies. So I will say that, it was like a nice bookend, the after credits, but it wasn't anything that was special. It wasn't anything that's going to move you. It's not anything that's really going to stand out. It was an okay movie. And, in a time where we haven't been to the theaters in a while, go and see it, or you could watch it at home. But, you get the real fight sequences and the choreography, just see it in the theater and watch the next chapter of what's going to happen that I really can't say anything on because it's spoiler free. So enjoy, have a great day, have a great evening, and thank you for watching.